Virtual FFA Theater. My name is Alyssa Spence, and I work for the North Carolina Agromedicine Institute. And we're an organization that is a partnership between NC State, ECU, and NCANT that are all about helping farmers, farm workers, fishermen, foresters, and their families. So you might be wondering, what does the North Carolina Agromedicine Institute have to do with theater? Well, Farm Theater is one of the many programs that we offer at the Institute, and they're usually set up as live events, but through the challenges presented by COVID, we decided to go to a virtual format. And so tonight's theater has been adapted from our normal farm theater to fit your virtual FFA convention. So without any further ado, I'll introduce our State FFA officer teams. The scene is set. They're an FFA officer team waiting for their advisor to join the meeting, and they're getting ready to plan their banquet. So without any further ado, the North Carolina FFA officer team and the virtual farm theater. Are you okay?
I can't imagine why. Put your phone down and you might be able to.
Actually, Casey, try some blue light glasses. I got them a few months ago and they really helped me.
I'm fine, guys. I get like 4 hours of sleep a night and nap during the day since I don't have to be in class. I'm home alone anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Wow, sounds like someone missed biology class, because you should know that messing with your sleep pattern is very unhealthy. I haven't found anything on TikTok worth messing up my metabolism or my emotions. And y'all know that when I'm tired, I am cranky and I cannot think straight. So you could end up with a lot of mental health problems, Casey, if you don't sleep well.
Mental health condition? I'm not crazy just because I stay up late on social media.
Come on, Casey. Everyone needs to take care of their mental health. And doing that is not crazy. I mean, come on, who even says that anymore? Your brain is just like any other part of your body. It can get strained. Too much mental stress can lead to a lot of other health issues.
I just saw a post about that on my Instagram. Look, I'll pull it up.
Yeah, physical health and mental health are definitely connected. When you don't get enough sleep or don't get things done that related to your mental health, then your physical health can be out of whack too.
Okay. All I'm saying is that I'm not suffering from screen fatigue. It actually really bothers me when people don't have their screen on. Like right now, Trip, where are you?
Sorry, guys. I had to turn my screen off. My internet isn't doing great today. My sister's on a call too, so I need to keep my screen off to stay connected to this call.
Connected? How can you be connected with your screen off? It's like I'm talking into a black void now that I can't see you.
Sorry, this is just the best I can do right now.
It's whatever. I'm sure you just didn't feel like putting any effort in your appearance today. So you've got your screen off. That's just lazy.
Trip, are you okay?
I'm fine. See?
Look, all I'm saying is that I used to be able to read facial cues and see if people understood what I was saying. Now there's just this awkward silence. It's so hard to interact with FFA members during chapter meetings. I have no idea if everyone thinks I'm as funny as I actually am.
Casey, 10 out of 10 people do not think you're as funny as you think you are.
Dude, mute yourself. We can hear everything happening at your house.
Sorry, y'all. I've got my baby brother here with me today, too.
Doesn't your mom work from home?
Yeah, well, no. Work made her start going back months ago. So I've got to keep an eye on both of the kids a couple days a week. Not to mention trying to keep up with all of my college work. My high school classes are pretty chill, but my 2 college classes, I have definitely expect all of my work to get done by the deadline. And keeping up with it is really stressful with everything going on. Maybe I should just up.
Well, Trip, what about your dad? Doesn't he always work from home?
I mean, technically, yes, I guess. He farms the land around our house, but it's really not safe for him to try and keep up with the little kids while working. There's a lot of dangerous stuff they can get into around the farm.
So why don't they just get a sitter?
Casey, not everybody can actually afford a sitter.
Right? We already pay for childcare, but sometimes daycare still has to close if someone is exposed to COVID. So I get stuck taking care of them all the time. I just wish things would open back up and get to normal.
I don't mean to be like a negative Nancy, but what if all this social distancing and mask wearing is the new normal? I was actually kind of excited when we were supposed to be out of school for 2 weeks, but that 2 weeks turned into over a year, and I'm not excited about being out of school anymore.
I know it gets kind of lonely being at home all day. At first, my brain said, sounds like we're starting our spring break early, and I was more than okay with that.
We all were at first. We didn't know it also meant no prom, no graduation, no White Lake, no national convention, nothing. Feels like it was all just canceled.
Literally, though, my mom wanted so badly to see me walk across that stage for my proficiency award, like my older brother got to, but he got his award back in 2018, and that feels like a lifetime ago. I just hope eventually I can walk across the stage for my American degree, like my brother also did. He put in all those years of work and that he earned his last year, but who knows if he'll ever get to go up and shake the national president's hand.
Guys, have you seen this? Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love North Carolina FFA, but this Georgia thread is making me so jealous. Since the state of Georgia is nearly fully open and operating closer to normal, they were actually able to have a hybrid state convention this year.
I get that the North Carolina government wants to be safe. Remember, I lost my grandpa to COVID. I know it's a real threat and all, but that doesn't make it any easier to see FFA members in other states getting to do things that we don't even have the option for yet. It's just so unfair.
None of it's fair. There are so many days when I don't even want to get out of bed because there's so little to look forward to.
Come on, Trip, stop being dramatic.
I know there's people who have it a lot worse than I do. I'm just tired all the time. We really need to get this meeting started.
Hey guys, I'm so sorry. Brooks is not feeling good and it's been really hard to get him to go to sleep. We'll try to be quick so we can get wrapped up before he wakes up again. Chloe, what's on our agenda for today?
I know last week we kind of touched on the banquet, I think is what we talked about. So what are we thinking for the banquet this week?
Let's just do a video.
No, not at all.
Wouldn't that just be easier than planning something big, than having the school system changing their mind again and having all that work done for nothing? It just feels pointless.
We can figure something out. Our chapter's had some sort of banquet for the past 50 years. We can do this. Are there any ideas for something other than a video?
Ooh, what if we did banquet boxes? We could have like a live banquet and stream it on Facebook live and then actually mail everyone their awards.
Yeah, and we could put some FFA swag in there too, and even some items for that community service project we were talking about.
Oh yeah, what was that again?
Come on, Casey, don't you remember? We're deciding to do the Seize the Awkward campaign because the increasing amount of mental health concerns caused by COVID. We're supporting the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention.
Oh yeah, but what can we do right now anyway?
Casey, have you not been paying attention? You were supposed to be checking in with your peer group. You know, the FFA members we all said we would reach out to and make contact with at least twice a week.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't have to do with suicide prevention. We don't talk about anything like that. And to be honest, I don't really feel comfortable talking about people killing themselves. Besides, if I bring it up, they're more likely to do it than if I said nothing.
A, it's died by suicide, and B, research has shown that the other part of that isn't true.
What?
Died by suicide, not killed themselves.
Dude, those are just different words that mean the exact same thing.
Actually, Casey, they aren't. Saying things like committed suicide places the blame on the person who lost their life, like they're to blame for being hopeless and beyond help. They couldn't see another way to cope with their problems. Asking someone in a tactful way if they are thinking about ending their life gives them a chance to open up and relieve some of the pressure that's built up around what they're experiencing.
We're honestly still learning a lot about deaths by suicide, but research has found that depression and other mental illnesses are really those leading factors for suicide.
And lots of things can trigger depression too. I know we throw around that term a lot, but a truly depressed person is someone experiencing unimaginable sadness for at least 2 weeks. And lots of things can trigger that sadness.
What could possibly make someone sad for more than 2 weeks?
Well, Casey, for teens, it's those big things like abuse, long-term bullying, parents getting a divorce, financial hardships, maybe even having a loved one that's been sick for a long time or a death in the family. All of those can trigger that depression. And if teens aren't able to deal with that or process those emotions, that's when it becomes a problem.
And small things can have an impact too. Problems with friends, other classmates, changing schools, changes in our bodies, or even this one really shocked me, but taking on too many activities or having too high expectations are also risks for developing depression in teens.
So just checking on people is supposed to fix this. I'm not a therapist. I can't solve their problems.
And no one expects you to solve their problems. But having a friend to talk to is just one of the many ways to cope with all that stress that they're dealing with.
Sharing your problems can make them feel not so heavy. If you have someone who listens in order to understand and doing it without judging you.
And it's not about sympathy or feeling bad for someone. It's about empathy and support, letting them know that you understand they're having a hard time, but that they can get through it.
You know, there's a lot of members in our chapter that could use this support. But guys, feeling lonely or stressed, that's not a new problem, and it's not going to fade away as we get a better handle on COVID-19. What are some things that made us feel isolated before COVID?
For me, it was not getting an invite to the movies or to the lunch table. It doesn't really matter. Big things or small things, they all make an impact on me. Sometimes you don't know for sure that others even want you around unless they ask you to come sit down and hang out. I just don't feel comfortable inviting myself, you know?
For sure. For me, it was always having way too much to do. Before COVID, I had so much on my plate between the clubs, the schoolwork, church, family. I may have been around people all the time, but I felt like I was constantly thinking about everything else that I had to do. So it was like being stuck alone in my own head. I was alone in a crowded room and I didn't always know how to ask for help.
I know meeting expectations can be tough. Everyone expects you to look a certain way, have certain things, and be able to do certain things. But with my family's lifestyle, I don't always get to do what people expect teenagers to be doing. I don't always get to binge watch the latest Netflix show, so I have nothing to say when everyone else is talking about it. And I can't always go to the football game on Friday night or run off to the beach for a few days because my dad needs my help around the farm pretty much every day of the week. So I'm excluded from those things because I have to work.
Then you're excluded again because they stop asking you to do things because they expect you to say no.
Right?
Abby, do you have anything to add?
Well, in our ag classes, I feel like everyone's, pretty much on an equal playing field. But in my other classes, it's not really always the case. I'm not in honors or AP classes, and I have to try really hard to learn math. And, we can't make below a C to stay on the team. So feeling like the only one on our officer team that struggles with that kind of makes me feel pretty isolated.
Abby, I didn't know math was hard for you. I'd be happy to help.
Really? Because that would actually be really great. It's been even harder without a face-to-face teacher all the time.
That's not a problem at all. I just wish I'd known sooner. It makes me really happy to be able to help someone else.
I don't know why it's so much harder asking for help rather than offering it.
I struggle with these same things. I feel like that as FFA president, I'm supposed to have it all together and always be the one offering help. But I need a lot of help too. I don't know how I will be able to do all of it without the help of Miss Bracy, all of you, my other friends, and even my counselor.
You go to a counselor?
Yeah, I think since I was 12. I chat with her about every other week, sometimes more if I need help working through some stress or sadness, or when I just need help making a decision. And I don't just go to her when I'm in crisis mode. There's even an app where I can text her when I need to.
Hey, there's an app for that? Now that's my kind of shrink.
Very clever, Casey, but you know you haven't answered the question yet.
Oh, yeah. What makes me feel isolated? And was a thing before COVID? I guess if I had to pick something, I'd probably say social media.
Casey, what? Are you serious? You're on your phone constantly. If you use social media all the time, why would you do that if it makes you feel lonely?
I don't know. I mean, I'm home alone pretty often, and that was the case way before COVID. I joined FFA so I could find a place to belong, but I still come home to an empty house. I get on social media because I'm bored so I can talk to people, you know? But when I see people posting snaps of their family, not even like a special moment, just laughing at their dad asleep on the couch or posting a picture of homemade biscuits on a Tuesday, my house feels a lot emptier then.
Well, you can feel lonely in a house full too. You can come over here anytime you want.
Thanks, man. I don't know, maybe.
Okay, so it sounds like we can all relate to feeling lonely. Sending our members some items related to our community service project would definitely be a good idea. It could help us all feel more connected. Did we decide on what items to send yet?
The American Foundation for Suicide Prevention has merchandise that's designed to help start the conversation about suicide and mental health. It's called the Seize the Awkward campaign, and it even has some tools for parents, teachers, and guidance counselors, not just students.
That sounds really cool. What's their website so we can all look it up?
AFSP.org.
Great. So we can all look up these things separately and just share what we think we should order in the group chat. Anything else, guys? I really need to go.
No.
No.
I guess not.
Okay, well, if that's everything, then I'll just need everyone's input by the end of the day today so that we can go ahead and place that order and get them in time for the banquet. I guess I'll see everybody next week. Trip, can you hang on tight for a minute? I know you need to go. It'll just be a quick second.
Miss Bracy, I really need to go.
I'll be quick. I just wanted to say I'm here if you ever need to talk.
Need to talk? I'm too busy to keep up with everything that's going on. I really don't have time just to talk.
Well, is there anything I can do to help?
Unless you can take care of my siblings or do my classwork for me, no, I don't think so. But thanks for the offer, I guess.
Trip, I'm serious. I'm getting worried about you. You were always one of our most active FFA members, and I feel like you're doing less than ever.
Well, maybe I should just quit then.
Trip, that's not what I meant, and that's not what I want.
What about what I want? I'm doing the best I can, but it's not good enough for anyone. Look, I can't do it anymore. I'm just going to quit.
Quit what?
All of it.
Trip, I can see you're frustrated, and that's okay. If you really feel like you have too much on your plate and you need to lessen your load, I understand that. We can talk about it when you have a little bit more time, but don't quit. Not the way I think you're talking about quitting.
What?
Just don't quit, Trip. We'll figure something else out. Just don't quit. You don't have to quit on life.
I've got to go.
I'll see you next week, right?
And that's where our story ends for tonight. Tune back in at the same time tomorrow night to see what happens with Trip and the rest of the state FFA officer team. Again, I'm Alyssa Spence, representing the North Carolina Agromedicine Institute, and this has been your virtual FFA Theater. See you tomorrow.